Soviet scientists engineered a peptide especially to calm your brain. No prescription, no dependence, and Western medicine has barely touched it. That's what we're talking about today. Welcome back. I'm leannlefortune, and this is Peptide of the Week, where I break down one peptide per week from the research I'm actually doing on my own biology. If you're new here, I'm not a doctor. I'm a biologist. I spent years doing field research in Alaska. I built a career around understanding systems, and now I apply that same lens to human optimization. Everything I share is educational. These are research peptides, not FDA approved, not medical advice. All right, let's get into it. This week, we have Selank. Most anxiety solutions either sedate you or rewire your brain chemistry in ways you can't undo. Selank doesn't do either of those things, and that's exactly why researchers are fascinated by it. Selank is a synthetic heptapeptide, 7 amino acids. It was developed in Russia by the Institute of Molecular Genetics, and unlike a lot of compounds that get co-opted for research later, Selank was built from day one to target anxiety and cognitive function. It's an analog of tufstin. Tufstin is a peptide your own immune system produces naturally. So Selank isn't some foreign molecule your body has never seen. It's modeled on something your biology already understands. That matters because the mechanism is different from anything you've probably tried before. Your brain has a stress response system. Selank was literally engineered to modulate it without shutting it off. Here's what the research shows. Selank appears to influence the metabolism of serotonin and dopamine, not by flooding your system, but by regulating the enzymes that break those neurotransmitters down. So you're not getting an artificial spike. You're getting better maintenance of what you're already making. It also shows up in research around BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is basically fertilizer for your neurons. It supports learning, memory, mood regulation. Low BDNF has been linked to depression and cognitive decline. Selank appears to unregulate it. And here's the part that separates it from everything else in the anxiolytic category. Benzos calm you down by basically suppressing your central nervous system. Selank research shows anxiolytic effects without sedation, without dependence, and without the rebound anxiety that makes prescription options so hard to get off of. That's not me saying it. That's what the studies show. And that combination, calm without sedation, no dependence profile, is why this peptide has serious research interest. This isn't a peptide you inject. It was designed to go up your nose, and that's not a hack. That's literally how it was developed. It was developed to go up your nose. Selank was created as an intranasal peptide. The nasal mucosa has direct access to the bloodstream and proximity to the brain via the olfactory pathway. Russian researchers designed it for intranasal delivery specifically because of the bioavailability advantages. So when you see Selank in nasal spray format, that's not someone being clever. That's the intended delivery method. The research was built around it. I don't talk about anxiety publicly very often, but I'll tell you this. Running multiple businesses, a real estate development, a content brand, and a research protocol at the same time will test your nervous system. And I've been paying attention to what actually moves the needle. When I started researching Selank, what caught my attention wasn't the anxiety angle specifically, it was the BDNF research. I care deeply about cognitive longevity. I want my brain working at a high level for decades. And anything that shows up in the neuroplasticity conversation gets my attention immediately. The calm focus effect that shows up in the literature, not sedated, not wired, just clear, that's what I was after. And that's what made Selank earn a spot in my research rotation. If you're a high-performing person and your nervous system is running hot, cortisol elevated, mind racing, sleep not where it should be, Selank is one of the most interesting research compounds in that space right now. The research population that shows the most benefit are people dealing with generalized anxiety, elevated stress response, and cognitive fog. If you're a woman in your 30s, 40s, or 50s managing a career, a family, a body that's shifting, there's a lot of us. This isn't about being broken. This is about understanding your biology well enough to work with it instead of white-knuckling through it. Most people will stay stuck in anxiety medication cycles their whole lives. You're not most people, and that's why you're here. That's your peptide of the week. Selank. Clean research profile. Fascinating mechanism and one of the most underrated compounds in the cognitive and stress optimization space. If this was useful, subscribe. I drop one of these every week, and each one is a different peptide, different mechanism, real research, no fluff. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. And if you want my full research guide, the compounds I'm actually tracking, the sourcing I use, the protocols I'm studying, that's the link in my bio. Drop something in the comments if you're already researching Selank, and if this is the first time you've heard of it, let me know. I read every comment, and I will see you next week.